started to work on it quite quickly after combat sports came out. You know, we started, you know, just writing, and we even started playing new material in the set. You know, there was some songs that didn't even make it onto this record, but we were thinking, we were constantly together, constantly on the road. So we were always thinking about those next steps. And then when we stopped touring combat sports, I went out to LA and wrote the vast majority of the record there. And we recorded it in Texas in 2019. But yeah, I think because we were enjoying being in the band so much when combat sports came out, that we sort of had this kind of spring in our step, and we wanted to sort of capitalize on that, I guess. I think the reason why Love City exists is because words are not enough. You know, I think that I imagine it as this kind of Tokyo-esque downtown in the middle of a Mexican desert or something where, but you know, everyone that I've spoken to imagines it looking different, feeling different, being somewhere different. And I think that's the whole point, that every emotion is like that, really. So in that respect, it's supposed to be hard to define, I would say. I suppose just that we wanted to create this kind of heightened reality, this utopia or this dystopia, you know, something that, yeah, that you couldn't really necessarily pin down or place, and, you know, where everything is slightly more colorful, everything is slightly louder, everything is slightly heightened. And yeah, I think often in the past, I've very much been the protagonist, and there's been this one sort of story running through a song or a record. Whereas on this sort of album, I feel like every song captures and encompasses lots of different emotions and lots of different protagonists. And these are little, like, you know, observations and expressions and all this sort of stuff. And again, so I think it's almost like, you know, I'm driving through the city or this place, looking out the window and observing all these things, I guess. Whenever I think of a phrase or something, you know, I'm quite often deep in my head. And whenever I think of a phrase, you know, I'll write it down. But I think that, you know, it's funny because songs can say things that people can't. And there are often things you want to say, but you're not able to say. And I think that, you know, music communicates, I guess, in a different way. And I sort of, what am I trying to say? It's almost sort of, it's this catharsis, it's kind of therapy, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really even know where it comes from, but it allows me to say things in song that I can't really say in conversation, I guess. I think there's a euphoria, but there's also a heaviness. So there's that sort of paradox, really. It's I don't know, I think it's lots of different things. I sort of think of it as a kind of fireworks display, really, or an explosion of color, you know. I think the most important thing is to focus on yourselves, you know, believe in what you do, and the most important thing for any artist is to kind of carve out your own identity, so that people start comparing artists to you. You know, that's the dream. I mean, it's crazy to think this is our 5th album. I don't know what else to say. I feel so grateful that we're still able to do it, and so sort of lucky and fulfilled by it. And I can't wait to see what the future brings, really. I think we want to just keep connecting with people, really, you know, on a level that we do, and maybe on a level we never have. That's, you know, without people listening to your music and falling in love with it and connecting with it, you know, what's the point, really, I guess.